you have a ticket for this one? Well, you really do. You're watching it on Root Sports. Clayton Kershaw against Garrett Cole. Marquee pitching matchup. It's the Pittsburgh Pirates against the Los Angeles Dodgers from a jam-packed PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Greg Brown along with Steve Lass. Steve, I know how much you love pitching matchups, and this is maybe as good as it gets.
Yeah, absolutely. You always look forward to watching the best, and we got a chance to have that happen tonight. We are watching the best. This guy is the best in all of baseball right now. Got off to an average start, but he has been absolutely lights out for the Dodgers, and he is just on his game. He's got great stuff. He's deceptive. His numbers are phenomenal. He's been doing something that didn't happen since Cy Young did it in 1905, and I don't even know what it was. That's how good he is.
37 consecutive scoreless innings for Clayton Kershaw. He had a 40-inning streak last year. He is the reigning Cy Young Award winner, reigning MVP, and who knows, maybe he'll be dealing against a guy, could be the 2015 National League Cy Young Award winner, the way he's going right now, Garrett Cole.
Yeah, you know, our guy's not chopped liver. You know, he's having a pretty good year. He's won 5 more games than Kershaw has, and he will be amped up. I think it's just a matter of Garrett Cole keeping that aggression, keeping that emotional stability, and not getting out in front of himself. And if he does that, we've got a chance to really have a great baseball game tonight. Kershaw and Cole. It doesn't get much better.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know. It's Kershaw, it's Cole, aces drawn. Bucks, Dodgers, coming up next. It's a Friday Night Rocks on Root Sports with more spectacular views of PNC Park and the city of Pittsburgh. We're expecting big crowds for all three games tonight, tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock, and Sunday night baseball to be televised nationally. An 8:05 start. Clayton Kershaw back in the dugout, ready to go, and taking that consecutive scoreless inning streak with him to the mound. And Andrew McCutchen and company ready. And Steve, Kershaw's pitched well against the Pirates over his career, but the Pirates have found a way, if not to beat him, to beat the Dodgers. Yeah,
they've done extremely well against the Dodgers. Actually, they haven't held their own against Kershaw. 8 career starts. He's 2-1. So they've dug their heels in. And it's going to be a challenge because, he's always good. But right now, he's as good as he's ever been. The streak that he's got going that you mentioned. And then Garrett Cole is going to be just fine if he just stays being Garrett Cole. Sometimes you have to fall in that trap. Okay, I got to be better tonight because of the circumstances, the setting, and all that. And the other thing, controlling his emotion. If he controls his emotion, he's going to be fine. Very capable.
Garrett Cole looking for his 15th win. Major League leader with 14 Ws. Last time out against the Cincinnati Reds, suffered a 4-3 loss. He went just 5 innings. Gave up 3 runs, 2 of them earned on 7 hits in Cincinnati. He is 2-0 in 2 career starts against the Dodgers.
And he was extremely frustrated with that game against the Cincinnati Reds. Had a chance to have a little conversation with him, and he wants to get on the other side of that, and he wants to have it happen tonight.
The Honda starting lineup for the Los Angeles Dodgers under Don Mattingly looks like this. Jimmy Rollins, a lot of veterans in the lineup, followed by Howie Kendrick and Adrian Gonzalez. Andre Ethier pitched cleanup. Yasmani Grandal is the switch-hitting catcher. Yasiel Puig is 5 for 6 in previous matchups against Cole. Alberto Callaspo is at third base. Jock Peterson, Rookie of the Year candidate, is in center field, and Clayton Kershaw on the hill against Garrett Cole.
And Garrett Cole's numbers brought to you by Hyundai. What he's done overall this year, what he's done lately in his last 6 starts, he's given up just 8 earned runs. 14 wins, just on his way to a terrific record. So tonight, we've got the current best, and we've got another guy that's heading in that direction in Garrett Cole. Should be fun. I just am looking forward to watching 2 guys that are as good as they come work their craft tonight. Watch what they do, watch their body language, how they handle all the other aspects of the game. It's fun to study these kind of pitchers.
Garrett Cole faced the Los Angeles Dodgers last year at Dodger Stadium. That was May 29th. Gave up 3 runs in 6 1/3 innings. A short time later, was placed on the disabled list. Take a look at the defense for the Pirates, brought to you by Honda. Michael Morse gets the start at first base. Sean Rodriguez at second. Jung Ho Gung, the shortstop, and Aramis Ramirez is at third. Marte McCutchen, Polanco in the outfield, left to right. And of course, Chris Stewart catches Garrett Cole,
who did all right against the other guy, the Dodgers. The other guy beat Zach Greinke. So he's got that under his belt. Now he gets a chance to get the other guy.
Jimmy Rollins. And run away. Rollins is hitting only .217. The splits pretty incredible when you think about this veteran. And there's a little fister and into right field for a base hit. He hits just .197 as a left-handed batter, .313 from the right side, and he delivers the leadoff single.
Take a look at the Rivers Casino tips to win. Our guy against their guy. That's the whole foundation of this thing. Cash in the 1 or 2 opportunities that you might get against Kershaw. And if I could add a third one, play really rock solid defense. Don't make any mistakes in this kind of ball game, this kind of matchup.
Howie Kendrick. Ball 1, 32-year-old veteran. Traded over from the Angels this winter, so they've got the veteran Rollins from the Phillies, Kendrick from the Angels. Looks down at Lorenzo Bundy, the third base coach. Davey Lopes coaches first. Hit hard. Oh, Sean Rodriguez, you've got to be kidding. You've got to be kidding me. He's unbelievable. Doesn't matter where he plays. Maybe the best defender at any position you put him in.
Well, you're going to watch this one at least once, maybe 4 times, because it doesn't get much better with a tough play on the backhand side and then not going to the throwing hand. That's phenomenal. The risk involved with this is tremendous. There you see it. And then that ball can go anywhere, and it goes right to Jung Ho Kang. That is phenomenal. That had so much to it, that play.
Chick-fil-A double play. Just his second start at second base. And he made that play as if he had been there from day one all year. Sean Rodriguez.
That ball is in your glove. Really, unless you know what you're doing. I mean, even if you know what you're doing, that ball can come in and out of the glove, up around the fingertips. It can go anywhere out of the glove as you're trying to shovel it correctly. No, Greg, guys try to do that face forward, trying to shovel the ball straight ahead to somebody. But on the backhand side, that's stunning.
Walker not starting against the lefty, but boy, he appreciates that play that Sean Rodriguez just made. That's why, just another reason the team loves that guy they call Serpico. 1-2 on Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez hitting .296 with 22 homers and 65 runs batted in.
Don't leave out our shortstop either, taking that ball kind of out in front of him, not knowing when exactly he's going to get his timing. Had to be adjusted and corrected. He did that and got over to first base. Just lovely.
Pick me up. The base hit. The spectacular play by Rodriguez. Pirates come to bat against Kershaw.
To you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. And by Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. Let's go Bucks.
Sean Rodriguez back to the dugout after making that fabulous play. Nick Leyva, the infield instructor, loves that. Appreciates the fact that Jung Ho Kang was ready for it. Here he is. Check out the lineup against Clayton Kershaw. Gregory Polanco will be stepping in against Clayton Kershaw to start. Brought to you by Toyota. Starling Marte follows, then Andrew McCutchen and Aramis Ramirez. Jung Ho Kang hits fifth. Michael Morse, Sean Rodriguez, Chris Stewart, and Garrett Cole, the starting 9 against Kershaw. Gregory Polanco hitting .245.
Well, he's the best that we do have in the business. He's been phenomenal. 9-6, .237 average out of the gate, but sensational since then. Great stuff, great control that we'll talk about.
First pitch swinging. Gregory Polanco, and clear the deck. Cannonball coming. Listen to them. They love it.
Lightning strike at PNC Park, and that breaks the streak. One pitch breaks the scoreless inning streak of Kershaw. Gregory Polanco, lefty on lefty, and a lightning bolt. A lightning bolt.
Number 6 for Polanco, and a stunner to begin this game.
And look at where the pitch was, down and in. That's a pitcher's pitch. You're not supposed to do this. Incredible. What a start to this ball game. Rodriguez, Polanco, stay on your feet.
Oh, now Kershaw recovers to retire Marte. Another look at the home run by Polanco.
What a start. You talk about Friday night rocks. Woo.
The first home run Polanco has hit off a lefty this season. The third that Kershaw has allowed off a left-handed batter.
Well,
how do you do?
What a start to this series and this matchup. There's a long way to go in this baseball game, but it's already fun.
Polanco with his 4th leadoff home run of the season, and in the 2nd straight night here at PNC Park, he hits a leadoff home run. It was on Thursday that he delivered the leadoff dinger off of Dan Herron.
What do you think about that young man running around the bases when he knows that's a home run? What is going? How about the joy of doing what he did and having an awareness of who it was against, breaking the streak? I'm sure he's aware of that. What a trip! What a trip around the base pass.
An unusual first inning free pass by Kershaw. He walks McCutchen.
Yeah, because that is his 29th walk against 192 strikeouts.
These were the numbers before the home run and the walk.
They're dazzling when you think it was just an average start for him to the season.
Don Mattingly's club down early. Now Ramos Ramirez. Playing in his 10th game since returning to the Bucks.
Unique going to the stretch and set position by Kershaw. And the breaking ball down. So Kershaw is incredible in 3 categories I can think of. He's got great stuff. He's got great control, and he's got this deceptive motion that he picks up that knee. That hides the ball. Then he takes the ball in back of the body, hides it again. So that whole herky-jerky kind of thing on top of great control and great stuff is why he is who he is. This is for that high curveball. But that's a tough trifecta. The timing itself deceptive. You could have average stuff, and that would be hard to get your rhythm together as a hitter. But when you watch him, the knee goes up after he gets through that stretch. Then the front knee up in the air, and then the ball and back.
Double play possibility. And they turn and around the horn double play.
Okay, Garrett, there's your run.
Yeah, go get him. Gregory Polanco got Kershaw. April 2008. Gregory Polanco at the leadoff home run on Wednesday night against Dan Herron and goes deep against Clayton Kershaw. His first at bat of this Friday night. And our Point Park University tweets rolling across the bottom of your screen. See a scoreless streak. 37 innings for Kershaw, ending with that El Cafe home run.
Still, what, some 22 innings behind Oral Hershiser and Don Drysdale. That tells you the enormity of what they did, and what he did was phenomenal. But he'll hit some more home runs, but I don't think he'll forget that one. It was the first pitch of the at-bat.
Last player to hit a home run off Kershaw was Matt Caesar of the Chicago Cubs, June 22nd of this year. Here's Andre Ethier now against Cole.
You know, I don't have any idea, Greg, what Ray Searage and Garrett Cole talked about before the game, because Ray meets with every starter. But if I had to guess, I would say maybe it contained two words: be yourself. Might have been that simple.
Well, if he is himself, he should be pretty good. He's been really good this year, third in the league in ERA. Zach Greinke, who was touched up yesterday in Philadelphia, has the lowest ERA in the league at 1.71. Jacob deGrom of the Mets. We'll see the Mets. It's the next road trip coming up, and Garrett Cole. deGrom at 2.09, Cole at 2.29. Wave and a miss. Off speed gets Ethier.
Second in a row for Garrett, so he's got his feet on the ground. Gonna chase downstairs. We'll keep throwing him down there. And that's what you think about every starter. It's not just Garrett Cole. What happens in that first inning? You come from the bullpen, you don't know what's going to happen. You might be throwing great down there, you might not be, but it's all different when you get out there. And you love to see your guy get on the other side of the first inning. You know, you go back to that double play. That's after a single. You don't know what's going to happen. Now you got two on, nobody out.
That's so
the
big.
Importance of it, the timing.
How big the defense is, and the play that guy made.
You're looking down the barrel at Adrian Gonzalez with 2 on, nobody out.
Yeah, first inning, second batter. So, you know, as the game goes on tonight, of course, we're talking a lot about the Polanco home run. We'll talk a lot about Cole, hopefully throughout the ball game, and Kershaw, and who knows what the final score will be. But we will not lose sight of that play off the bat of Howie Kendrick.
Oh, wow. That was called Blue Bayou.
97 miles per hour. And that little sly grin from Grandal tells you all you need to know about what he thinks of the stuff of Garrett Cole. Like, you got to be kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. It's upstairs, but that's what the real hard throwers do. They throw high heat. You don't have much time. People don't realize you don't have much time to make any kind of decision. That's how good major league hitters are who hit well. The unbelievable brevity between the release of the baseball and the time it gets to you.
Another young star of the game here. Yasiel Puig, a couple of 24-year-olds. Puig, a Cuban defector against Cole. Grew up just outside of LA in Newport Beach, California. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gabe Morales is at first base. You see the umpiring crew, Mark Carlson, behind the plate. Mark Wegner and Trip Gibson. And it's 1-2.
Yeah, when that ball leaves the pitcher's hands, you got to find out as quick as you can, if you can, what kind of pitch it is and where it's starting from and where it's going. If it's a breaking ball, I mean, that's a lot.
Didn't get a call here, maybe should have. Right there, just not getting the call from Carlson.
Another one, so close. You wanted that one. Okay, walk out and back of the mound, collect yourself. He's not happy with that call.
The other one was a strike. This one just missed.
But still not liking it.
No.
I can tell by the way he's acting.
Cole came in 8th in the league with 138 strikeouts. Again, 3rd in ERA, tops in wins in the majors. And toward left field, that is going to carry out to Marte. Yasiel Puig lines out to left. It's 1-0 Buccos.
And swap disappointing players with large contracts today. The Braves get Michael Bourne, Nick Swisher, and cash from the Indians for third baseman Chris Johnson, who's owed $16.5 million over the next 2 years. Bourne and Swisher are due $29 million next year, with vesting options that could kick in a combined $26 million in contracts for the pair in 2017 as well. Greg and Steve.
All right, Rob, thanks for that State Farm game break. It is 1-0. Pittsburgh, the first of the 3-game series against the Dodgers, the first meeting of the year between these two clubs, and packed on the rotunda and in the seats.
Great turnout. Boy, have they had something to cheer about early in this ball game. That's great. That certainly is worth the walk across that bridge. Yep, check it out. Bucks up 1-0 behind Garrett Cole. Take a shot.
Old foul behind Rick Sofield. The Pirates and Dodgers last year played 7 times. Pirates won 5 of the 7 meetings, including 2 of 3 here.
Bucks have been pretty good against everybody in the West.
He said he offered, and Randall throws to Gonzalez to complete Kershaw's first strikeout.
193rd on the season. Oh, yeah, he did. How far out in front of home plate did that bounce? Maybe a foot, just a foot, no more than a foot in front of home plate.
Gong seeing all these pitchers for the very first time, and he's made some great adjustments along the way. This is first chance to see Kershaw, and now a line drive by Michael Morse at the first baseman Gonzalez.
Sharply hit. Perfectly placed on defense.
Gold Glover.
Michael says you can't hit it much harder than that. Why are they having a guy play there?
Broken bat roller. Bare hand play made by Callaspo. Pirates go down in order in the bottom of the second.
Dodgers come to bat in the third inning. I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski. Well, Chris Stewart is starting, which means Francisco Cervelli isn't playing tonight, but that doesn't mean he didn't have a busy day. In fact, it was quite the opposite this morning. He did his inaugural Cervelli Culinary Craft Camp. It was held at the Children's Museum of Pittsburgh. He combined his two passions away from the diming, cooking and painting, and he shared it with 30 kids from the YMCA of Greater Pittsburgh. He started painting in the off-season recently and realized it was something he was passionate about. And the cooking, that goes way back, as long as he could remember. Some good stuff from Francisco Cervelli this morning. Although he's watching, he had a busy morning, Greg and Steve.
You know, that guy's always busy.
Oh, yeah.
He is always busy. Good stuff.
And always good stuff from Chris Stewart. Steve, you mentioned you talked to Garrett Cole about his last outing. I talked to Stewart about the last outing as well. Did he seem a bit more ornery than usual, Garrett Cole, that start against the Reds? He was storming around the mound. And I think that's kind of what Cole said to you. It basically was the Reds. He said, you know, we tried different things. He said, but the Reds just, they seem to kind of have his number, and he wants so badly to shut them down.
He doesn't want anybody to have his number.
Right.
Does not want anybody. And that's great. That's that obsession.
Stewart. Tyaspo is the first out in this third inning.
I think Cole is a guy, if he gets knocked around, it's one thing.
Barrel Automotive league leaders in ERA. We mentioned Zach Greinke, Jacob deGrom, and Cole, and there's Kershaw right there in the top 5.
Yeah, if he gets knocked around, he understands that. But it was kind of the little things, you know, bleeders here and there, a call that didn't work, an approach that got away. That bothered him, and he doesn't want anybody to dominate him. He wants to dominate people. And it was just kind of slow torture for him. I got the impression in that game.
Well, here's an interesting matchup now. Possible National League Rookie of the Year, Jock Peterson. 21 homers, tied for 8th in the league, 43 runs batted in, hitting just .221, has a 130 strikeouts, second most in the league. Yeah, Jung Ho Kang, I'm sure will get some votes.
This guy was in the home run hitters contest. Here's a guy that, well, their lineup is so good they got a guy hitting 8th that has 21 home runs. That's pretty impressive.
He has struck out 130 times, second in the National League to another rookie, Chris Bryant.
And he's in the hole 0-2. Trying to stay alive.
Jock Peterson, kind of a tale of two seasons. You see, before July the 1st, 20 of his 21 homers, hitting 160 since the 1st of July. 5 RBIs. Toward right and off the wall and hit hard off the top of the wall, so Peterson will reach second base with a double.
And he didn't miss much of getting that ball just high enough to get himself a home run. We were talking about that the other night. There are so many different surfaces out there. You can get a soft bounce off the fence. You can get a hard bounce like this one that hit something other than that fencing and hit it back toward the infield.
Polanco did a nice job of trying to come back and play it off that wall, but it hits that cement.
About maybe a yard underneath the home run line.
Now Kershaw. 2 outs. Kershaw grounds out to second for the second out. A lot of excitement in the air here to watch Garrett Cole face off against Kershaw. And it's Jimmy Rollins who led off the ball game with a base hit to right.
I remember going up against some top-notch pitchers, Seavers and Kuzmans and Carltons and Marichals and all those guys. And you can say, I'm just going to try to pitch my game as much as you want, and you try to do that. But before that anthem plays, you are revved up, and you know you're going against one of the best, and if you control it, it's fine.
I hear people say, pitchers and pitching coaches, Hey, in this case, Garrett Cole is not pitching against Kershaw. He's pitching against that Dodgers lineup.
But you know in the back of your mind that you don't have much wiggle room. And and if you control that, that's fine. You want to do that. But you can't say I've got to be better than I normally, because you should be as good as you can be every time out. First of all, that's the foundation. And if you try to get ahead of yourself, do things that you're not normally doing, not doing things that got you here, then you're going to be out there dangling.
And a 4-pitch walk to Rollins. Yasiel Puig
talking to Abraham. That's not Honest Abe. I thought I saw him racing here.
Yeah.
And the Nats are in town.
Andy's son. Now Howie Kendrick. And the runner goes from first, and no throw from Stewart. Jimmy Rollins steals his 9th base, caught 7 times.
They don't do a lot of running. They don't have to because they're hitting that good, but opportunity rose and no contest at second.
That's just the 23rd stolen base for the team.
Yeah, and people say, well, not that big a deal with 2 outs, but it is a big deal because a base hit gets them 2 runs. Also, you've got a first baseman that if he's going way away from first base on the ground ball, takes away that force of second base. So, yeah, it is a big deal.
Easily the fewest stolen bases in Major League Baseball. The Dodgers, 23 steals, caught 24 times.
We talk about the Pirates taking advantage of any opportunity they get. Well, the Dodgers are thinking the same way because the regard they have for Garrett Cole. So it's a standoff in terms of approach tonight.
Kendrick, ground ball, nice stop by Ramirez from his knees, and he's safe. Morse comes off the bag, and 2-run score.
And Morse is not arguing.
2-run score. Because Jimmy Rollins did not stop. On a ground ball to the left side of the infield, Rollins kept going. And it's 2-1 LA.
No question. No question he's away from the back. That's why he didn't argue. He knew right away. And Clint Hurdle's at the top step, but he's got to go back. There's the separation. There's we talk about bad base running. Here's great base running.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's why it's a big deal on the second base. By the way, great effort by Aramis Ramirez. Went down on the ground, throwing from his knees. And that would have been a spectacular out result. Just didn't happen.
And hit hard right where Gong is standing. So Howie Kendrick gets a 2-run infield single. Jimmy Rollins didn't stop. 2-1 LA.
All on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross. Just ask a neighbor. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier of the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Here at PNC Park, the Dodgers now lead at 2-1.
I didn't know if we're going to see that many runs tonight.
Jimmy Rollins, Pirates let him steal second, uncontested, and he scores on a ground ball. And a bunt try by Stewart. Chris Stewart, a bunt single and a perfect bunt single for Stu.
How about that?
He is now 7 for 13 in his career against Kershaw.
With a home run. This was a dandy. This is as good as it gets. Okay, that's what it could do is wait and hope it trickled off that grass and kept going past the chalk. It never did. How good was that? That's baseball play.
Boy, I'll say, Allegheny Health Network Supermo. The bunt single for Chris Stewart. And now, Garrett Cole will try and bunt him to second.
He's done it well 6 times.
That's second on the club behind A.J. Burnett. Talking to Stewart about those great career numbers against Kershaw, and he said, well, basically those pitches just happened to hit my bat.
Well, that's typical Chris Stewart.
Yeah.
That's one of the
fluffed it off. He said it was 1 year. Bunted in the air. And if Gonzalez had just let that ball drop, that's a double play. Because Garrett Cole had headed back to the dugout.
Yep.
And for a second, it looked as though Gonzalez was thinking about that.
Yeah. But now, does he know what's happening in back of him? Yeah.
It's an easy double play. He just pulls back and lets it drop. Cole had headed back to the dugout.
And so many times you say if you take your eye off the ball, you might miss it. Well, it was okay if you missed it.
Yeah. Well, Gregory Polanco got off with a home run.
Now, what I'm going to be watching, Greg, when Cole comes back out on the mound, he's frustrated now because of the situation where they scored a couple. That frustrates him. Now he can't get the bunt down, and he's just going to have to collect himself. Yeah, because sometimes the temptations are okay. I'm going to throw the ball through the wall now. Nobody's going to touch me. And well, as Mel Gibson can tell you, sometimes temptations are dangerous.
And he can learn from Kershaw, who gave up the leadoff home run to Polanco. No doubt was frustrated. 0-2.
Gregory didn't like that call.
Good pitch.
Yep, it's 50-50 deals. You don't get all of them either way, pitcher or hitter.
And a base hit for Polanco. Stewart thinks about third, and then no way, not with Puig's arm. And look out, Polanco is going to be thrown out at first. Jimmy Rollins takes the throw from Puig and whips it across to first, and Polanco is thrown out. And you could say a couple of mistakes here by the Pirates early on. And against a guy like Kershaw, that's a no-no.
Great job of getting the ball by Gonzalez. Stewart thinks about third, correctly puts the brakes on. And then Rollins, who is playing one heck of a mental game right now. Did it with his legs, and now with a gut baseball play, gut instinct. No. Tough call, but the Dodgers get the call. The hand toward the base, and he got tagged up above, but no argument.
A bunt single Cole can't bunt him over. Polanco singles and is thrown out at first against a guy like Clayton Kershaw.
You say take advantage of every opportunity. Don't mess it up. What's the first thing you tell youngsters when they're playing ball? Know where the baseball is. Know where the baseball is. First thing you start with.
Marte at the plate. Polanco singles to right, 2 for 2, but then makes the mistake. Marte pops up. Second baseman Kendrick. Chris Stewart, a great bunt single to start the inning, but Garrett Cole can't bunt him over, and Polanco is thrown out. Jam presented by Highmark. Pirates Dodgers 405, and after the game it is Fan Jam with OAR performing live in concert on the field at PNC Park. Go to pirates.com. Tomorrow 405 Bucks Dodgers and OAR performing live after the game. 2-1 Dodgers, and a little frustrating here. There's some things that have happened. Rollins steals second uncontested. Scores on a ground ball to the left side of the infield. And then what we just saw in the bottom of the third. Hoping to do that. Garrett Cole has to really buckle down now.
Yeah. Hope that he's got control of all the emotions. Frustrated he couldn't get the bunt down.
Here struck out in the second. It's 2-0.
So far staying away from the fastball. First two pitches to Ethier.
He walked Rollins on 4 pitches. That came back to haunt him, and now it's 3-0 on Ethier. And a 4-pitch walk to start the 4th inning.
That's my concern after the frustration of the bunt, stolen base, the 2 runs.
Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. There's Yasmani Grandal, and he takes strike one.
Well, the Pirates have been very, very good at home. The Dodgers have been very, very good at Dodger Stadium, but they're not there now. They're on the road. Pirates here 38-16 overall, 12-3 in the last 15 home games.
Here tomorrow afternoon and Sunday night, and then on the road for a week.
Mr. Mattingly and his Dodgers spending the weekend in Pittsburgh.
And actually the week in Pennsylvania. Started this road trip in Philly. Chopper on the right side, and there's Sean Rodriguez again. My word. Double play.
You saw it coming because it was a high chop, so you knew he was going to have a chance. Coming straight in. Meets the runner right there. The timing is perfect all the way around, and after that it's kind of easy. He has to throw across his body, but cleans it up. He's got him in his sights. Done deal.
But you could see right there in his, as soon as that ball was chopped in the air, he had it in his mind. He was going to get to the ball and make that tag. And a liner foul off the bat of Puig.
That certainly is a fine play, but even more important, settles Garrett Cole down a little bit. Free pass when he comes out to work the top of the fourth, and he gets cleaned up immediately. Second time that Rodriguez has done that after a leadoff man gets on base.
Cleaning up there around the landing area.
These mounds these days are phenomenal with the clay they have, and very, very seldom you get any kind of bad footing.
Three and one on Puig. Reach the seats and goes to a full count. There's a full count in the second inning when Puig lined out to left. Eight homers, 29 RBIs for Puig. Another foul.
Uncle Ray keeping a close eye on Garrett Cole. Garrett's showing Puig just about everything he's got. Some high fastballs at 97, some breaking pitches. Hits it.
Fastball in, strikes him out.
Location.
Friday night rocks 2-1 on a Friday night in Pittsburgh. The Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw leading Garrett Cole and the Pirates. Andrew McCutchen walked in the first inning.
Yep, they got it.
Good description.
Yep, he is, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Kershaw delivering at 93 miles an hour there. And delivering nicely at 73. That's pretty good separation on a good curveball. Look at that downer. That's kind of like the old Sandy Koufax downer. Not so much side to side. Over the top. Followed the curveball with this pitch that he could have had a strikeout on.
Three and two. Intense Clayton Kershaw. Upset with himself there.
Yep. He has walked one. He doesn't walk very many. Just a little bit over one per start.
Line drive, base hit for McCutchen.
That's what happens to 3-2 fastballs that are hittable when you don't want to walk somebody. The good pitchers, the good control pitchers, hate to walk people, and sometimes they will throw a strike kind of hoping to get away with it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but they don't want to give up the free pass. And that's kind of in the wheelhouse there. He could have got hurt more with it.
Ramos Ramirez hit into an inning-ending double play in the first.
How good would everybody feel if Ramos was able to run into one right here in this scenario? Because he's still looking for something to go over the fence.
You can see why Ramos Ramirez asked Mark Carlson about that pitch.
Yeah. Guys like Kershaw don't need help with those kind of calls.
Among other things, he is really good at containing and controlling the running game. What can't this guy do?
Fair question. Legitimate question.
You and I were talking before the game, Steve. I mean, with all the awards and the accolades, he might be underrated yet. And he has a career ERA of 2.47 since 1920. That's the lowest all-time career ERA. I mean, lower than Bob Gibson, Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan.
And he's only 27. And he's done remarkable things. He really has. You're making the point. At 27 and what, 4 or 5 years in the big leagues, he might have Hall of Fame numbers at this point.
Yep.
When all things are considered. And he's got a teammate that is sensational too, Greinke.
Roughed up a little bit yesterday, but got through it. And in fact, went 3 for 3 and hit a home run. And off of Kershaw. Ramos Ramirez rips one off the foot of Clayton Kershaw, who's trying not to show any discomfort.
And there is discomfort in that Dodger dugout. Trust me, there is concern. Now, every pitcher that pitches a while is going to get hit. Those kind of shots, you're going to take them.
And you know, Steve, this is a situation where it's Kershaw. So the trainers, the manager, the pitcher coach, they don't want to go out. They just want to kind of watch real closely.
Yep. They're hoping they don't have to.
And a lot of young pitchers, you'll see the manager and the pitching coach bolt out there.
Yep.
Not Kershaw. Maybe right off the bottom of the foot.
Bottom of the shoe, yeah. So you find ways to hurt the pitcher. There's different ways to do it.
Second time up for Jung Ho Kang against Kershaw. Kershaw struck him out on a pitch in the dirt in the second inning. A base hit for Ramirez. Runners at first and second, no one out. And 0-2. As we said, his first time up, Kang seeing these pitchers for the first time.
Yeah.
And that first time was a tough at bat against Kershaw. Now, can he make any kind of an adjustment?
Didn't know if the Pirates would be bunting here.
Kang has not dropped down a sacrifice bunt this season.
Oh, it certainly won't be at this point.
Decided to let him swing away against Kershaw. Conversation there with Grandal and the umpire Mark Carlson. 1-2 on Kang. Line to right field and a base hit. Bases are loaded with buccos.
What a nice piece of hitting by Kang. We're going to see replays. It looks like he just went out and slapped something down and away. Got the end of the bat on it, just served it out to right field.
Again, an example of what a quick learner he is after that first at bat.
Now look at that. That is just protecting the batting area and finding a way just to get something enough to slide it out to right field. That's a great at bat.
And notice no leg kick. Both feet on the ground, slapping it to right.
There was a time when he used to lift that leg all the time. Now it's different. Well, you adjust.
Now they're loaded with nobody out, and the infield looks for two with Michael Morse at the plate. Lined out his first time up.
Revs it up to 95 miles an hour. Well, we talked about taking advantage of every opportunity. The opportunities don't get much better than this.
Morse with his fourth official at bat as a Pirate.
You just got to get something out of this. It's just a matter of how much you get. I mean, the opportunity, of course, is for a big inning. No guarantees, but you certainly have to come away with something. And something ties up the ball game.
We saw 4 career grand slams for Michael Morse. Base runners. Andrew McCutchen led off with a solid single to left. Ramos Ramirez hit a ball off of the pitcher's foot, and a line drive by Kang to right field.
5 hits already off Kershaw. That's a lot off him.
Was in on Morse, the big man. Fouls it out of play, 1-2. He is 2 for 7 in his career against Kershaw. One ball, 2 strikes, bases loaded, nobody out, down a run. 2-2. Michael Morse fired at the deadline from the Dodgers after they had acquired him in a 13-player deal involving the Marlins and the Braves. Jose Tabata sent to the Dodgers. Tabata in the minor leagues with LA now. 2-2. Morse never played a game with the Dodgers. Oh, look at this. They've got a double play. Somehow Gonzalez didn't see he had a double play right in front of him. He looked everywhere but first base.
Yep. And by the time he looked back to first, there was nothing there. Kershaw was not over there. All he could do is hold on to it. The Dodgers get a break because he blisters the ball like he did the first time. Gonzalez makes a really good play on it, but watch. He's got it. Never looks at more. He's looking all right, and then...
Well, how does he not see that right in front of him? He just gets up and walks to first base for a double play.
Dodgers get a break. Pirates get a break.
Now Sean Rodriguez. Michael Morse, 2 line drive outs to Adrian Gonzalez.
If that ball isn't caught, I mean, you got guys running from everywhere. That ball's down in the corner.
Two 2-0 on Sean Rodriguez. Michael Morse reacting to that line drive a second time. Lines out to Gonzalez.
Last time when he came in, it was kind of lighthearted. Not so lighthearted there. Right there. Outside corner, upstairs.
Two and two. Sean Rodriguez. Kershaw trying to work his way out of this bases loaded jam.
Sean Rodriguez doing everything he can to not only stay alive, but maybe extend the at-bat to a full count, where it becomes a little more heat on the pitcher. Everything upstairs at this point. Well, the power guys work up there a lot.
Still 2-2.
And away from the fastball.
Rodriguez has made a couple of outstanding defensive plays. His first time up in the second inning, hit a broken bat ground ball to the third baseman Callaspo.
Yep. This is a defensive situation for Sean Rodriguez, trying to find a way to put the ball in play. See if Kershaw goes downstairs. He's been up during the whole at bat.
Pulled foul by Rodriguez.
Yep. Stayed up higher than he wanted to on that pitch.
Well, just able to foul a couple of fastballs away, and now off speed pulls it.
Yep. This pitch is upstairs. Well, that's in the hitting zone right there. Kershaw got away with it, and he knows it if you want to read the body language. Has he shown him enough off-speed stuff to go upstairs with the heat again?
strikes him out. 2 away in the 4th. Kershaw.
Now he goes downstairs. See, that's what good pitchers do. You show them all that stuff up. Looks like a cutter. Down and in. And it's a tough pitch to take. You don't want to be victimized with a call 3rd strike.
8th pitch of the at-bat. And now Kershaw faces Chris Stewart.
Just a 2nd strikeout.
Bases loaded, but now with 2 down. Stewart had the bunt hit leading off the 3rd. Now 7 for 13 in his career against Kershaw.
Some of the pressure off Clayton Kershaw now. He doesn't have to look for a strikeout.
Now goes into the full windup. I've been working from the stretch. 2-0.
Well,
there's no way. I mean, if he doesn't throw a couple strikes here.
Well, you know, maybe there's magic.
Stop the presses.
Maybe there's magic with Stewart against Kershaw.
Yep.
We know one thing. There's a take sign on.
We also know the fans trying to rev him up. Whoa! He called it a strike, and Stewart can't believe it.
And neither can 35,000+ people that are umpiring can believe it.
Mark Carlson, the home plate umpire, called that a strike. Wow.
And that might be a definitive call in this baseball game. That might be a definitive call.
Three and two.
Take a look at this one. Borderline. A better looking pitch than the previous one.
Now it's 3-2. Walked him. Forces in a run to tie the game.
Doesn't get the call that time.
Chris Stewart finds a way to tie the game.
The Stewart magic. 3 pitches in a row. Very close calls. Shouldn't have got the first one, got the second one, and this is that close there. Well,
not really.
Not really.
So Rick Honeycutt will come out to talk to Kershaw, a bit disgusted with it all.
This is not the dominant Clayton Kershaw that has been seen in the last 4 starts. He's still good. But compared to his dominance the last 4 starts, and how long can anybody really continue that? He's human.
How about this?
Dodger
Juan
bullpen.
Nicasio up in the bullpen for the Dodgers.
That's a headline.
How about Garrett Cole up there right now? You know what he wants to do.
Look for fastball first pitch, Garrett. He did. But that's not your average fastball.
Trying to chant Kershaw now.
Another good cut. Garrett's getting his money's worth. I don't think Clayton Kershaw is going to drop the ball on the mound.
No. But boy, pretty neat stuff here in the fourth inning of a game, first week of August, for this crowd to react as it has.
They are locked in.
Strikes him out, but the game is tied. 3 singles and the bases loaded walk for Chris Stewart.
Is brought to you by the Chevy Trax and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
2-2 ball game. The bases loaded walk for Chris Stewart tied it. We go to the 5th inning. Our Day Automotive this day in Pirates history. It was August 7th, 5 years ago. Pedro Alvarez hit this walk-off home run. 3-run shot off Rockies closer Houston Street. 2 out, 2 on, bottom of the 10th inning. 8-7 win over the Rockies less than 2 months after he had made his major league debut. Pedro Alvarez.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Again.
Man.
That's like Southwest, you know, New Mexico or Arizona. Beautiful.
What a sight. Ball 1 to Callaspo. Sails over everybody.
Good to see a lot of stuff going on tonight.
Comes right back with that. Pirates made Kershaw work. 7 men to the plate, the 3 hits, the intense at bats there. Michael Morse, the line out. 8 pitch at bat to Rodriguez. The bases loaded walk to Stewart. As Callaspo sends one deep toward left center, but McCutchen there. Point being, Cole would like to have a quick 1-2-3 inning and get Kershaw right back out there.
Third of the way there.
We want to see your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag PitDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Get those photos in. Hashtag PitDataStrongFan. Happy birthday.
Speaking of which, birthday wishes to send along. Well, when we have a moment.
How about Ruth McClellan?
Okay, happy birthday, Ruth.
Anybody else?
How about Big Jim Kissel? Terry's dad.
There you go.
Yeah. Out in Brentwood. Happy birthday, Big Jim.
Well, Clint Hurdle's daughter Maddie. How about our buddy Joe Vogel?
Yeah, Baseball Joe. Absolutely. And how about Ed Becky, one of the many great people that work for PNC out in the South Hills.
And there's Terry. Hey, Dad.
Hi, Dad. Yeah, happy birthday, Big Jim.
Nobody works harder than that guy. Jock Peterson. Also happy birthday to Michael Califit.
Michael, happy birthday. Did I mention Ed Becky out of PNC in South Hills? I did. Happy birthday, Ed. Yeah.
2-1 on Jock Peterson.
Don't double down very much. Here we go.
3-1. Peterson doubled off the wall in right field. Came with within just a couple of feet of hitting a home run. 11th round pick in 2010, the 23-year-old. And he draws the walk.
Number 3. By the way, get well wishes for John Red Quinlan, 91 years old. Back from some surgery. He'll be back in the starting lineup because he's got 2 grandsons that are going to take good care of him, Devin and Danny D'Amico. John, hope you're getting along well.
Kershaw is hit by the pitch.
This is not what we were expecting here in the top of the 5th after a quick first out.
Now trainer going to come out and check on Kershaw.
Ooh,
that one hurt more than the line drive back to the mound.
That's bone right there. It's just above the ankle. Not much protection.
94 miles per hour.
Says I'm fine. I don't even want a jacket.
Just as Don Mattingly was making his way out of the dugout. Here comes Ray Searage. This is a settle down moment here for Ray Searage. Now look, even a little grin.
There's so much you can read with Garrett, the body language, the look, the facial expression. Ray Searage reads that so well, and so does Chris Stewart. He has, I mean, he really does have a reading on when he needs to spend a little time with Garrett, when to leave him alone. Very pretty. Now, I don't think that's a muscular thing. That's baseball on bone. Shin bone, back of the shin bone, front.
Jimmy Rollins has singled and walked, stolen a base and scored a run. And the runner at second, Peterson, dancing off the bag.
Not a bad idea by Peterson, but those kind of things, when you're out there and you're hot and you're fuming, that goes into the file. I mean, you don't even think it's legit. It's legit on the guy at second base, but boy, does it get under your skin.
The other way. Marte not able to hold on, and it's a fair ball, and the run scores. It's 3-2.
Wow. Walk, hit by pitch. Down the left field line. Marte coming so close. But not able to get it. Here's the close-up. Just off the tip of the glove. Garrett Cole was hot before. He is really hot now. There's some quirky stuff going on.
We lose sight of Marte. We saw that replay there, but Must have had a little bit of trouble finding that ball right away.
There's the end of it.
Because Peterson has to hold up, of course, where he's 3/4 of the way down. But if he finds it right away, you see just a bit of trouble. Now 2-1. Peterson.
Yep, he's in no man's land.
Morales says Howie Kendrick offered. Kendrick has hit the ball hard a couple of times off Cole. And now it is really getting dicey here. 3-2 down a run. And Kendrick, one of the top hitters in the league with runners in scoring position, and the really dangerous Adrian Gonzalez on deck. This is a big time pitch here.
He needs this ground ball. He needs a ground ball.
Just foul. Veteran Howie Kendrick facing Garrett Cole, who again was frustrated with what has gone on here. Pirates gave him the early 1-0 lead. Polanco homer. Dodgers scoring 2 in the third. They tie it in the bottom of the fourth to the Bucks, but right away the Dodgers get the lead.
Watch out. Watch out. Wow. Just a bullet into the stands. And it's those kind of funny things. Marte really went a long way. That ball is slicing away from him the entire time. Comes that close. So as a pitcher, you got your hopes up. Maybe he can outrun the ball. It doesn't happen. You're struggling. You just hope for those kind of plays. Now he's kind of out of sync. But he makes a huge pitch. Huge pitch right there. Strikeout number 5 couldn't have come at a better time. He basically just swings through that pitch. That's upstairs. And that ball's in a dangerous spot. Sometimes you get lucky.
Gonzalez has struck out. It hit a line drive to Jung Ho Kang, and there's a backswing. Sounded like it might have clipped Stewart. Mark Carlson checks in. Francisco Cervelli watching his teammate.
That was a big swing. Yep, got a piece of the mask on the way down. Yeah, we haven't even really talked too much about what this guy represents at the plate. Talking about the pitcher so much.
One ball, one strike, 98. Adrian Gonzalez. Now 1-2. Last year led the league with 116 runs batted in. 9th in the league this year with 65.
One more to go here in the 5th, Garrett. This is hard work tonight for 2 premier pitchers. They're both laboring.
Toward left center field. McCutcheon and Marte, and it's Marte.
Hard work.
Here in Pittsburgh, where Sunday night the nation will be watching Sunday night baseball. Pirates and Dodgers concluding this homestand. It starts at 8:08, and all kids 14 and under will get a Garrett Cole Gregory Polanco Cup, compliments of Sheets and Coca-Cola. Don't miss out. Well, it's sure to be a great night here at PNC Park. Pirates-Dodgers game starts just after 8 o'clock. All kids 14 and under get a Garrett Cole Gregory Polanco Cup. And Polanco will lead things off 2 for 2 against Kershaw tonight. Cole back in the dugout. Fired up. Bunch of Bucco fans.
Kershaw has a 1-run lead. They had somebody warming up in the bottom of the 4th. Not so much for the pitch count, just 64 pitches, but he was in trouble. The Pirates had a chance to break it open. It didn't happen. They got 1 out of it.
The 1 run came on a bases loaded walk to Chris Stewart that scored Andrew McCutchen. Last time Clayton Kershaw walked in a run, July 24th, 2012. A bouncing ball to Kender. 1 out.
There have been some ragged edges so far in this game, but don't be surprised if either one of these guys goes on a run where they just rack up a bunch of zeros, and then you wonder what's going to happen right at the end of this ball game. I'm not predicting that, but this is a little bit unlike both of them. Neither one razor sharp, but hanging in there. Cole keeping it together. It's going to be frustrating for anybody. You walk somebody, then you hit the pitcher in the foot, and then you get your hopes up for possible great play down the left field line. It doesn't happen. It's just a package of those kind of things that can just get to you.
Marte has bounced back to the mound and popped to second. Two for 9 in his career against Kershaw. The Pirates are 10 and 9. when the opponent starts a left-hander. Pirates will see another lefty on Sunday night. Former Brave Alex Wood will start against Charlie Morton. The 2-2 pitch, Marte is hit for the 11th time this season.
5th batter that Kershaw has hit. There's no getting out of this way. He's lined up pretty close to home plate, but that's a delivery that's going to get him just about all the time.
Marte hit by that 93-mile-per-hour fastball from Kershaw. McCutchen has walked and singled. Towards center field. That ball's going to get down and get to the wall. Marte is going to be waved home. Andrew McCutchen has just tied the game with a double off Kershaw. It's 3-3.
Boy, stay tuned for this one. This could get a little rowdy. And with Andrew hooking that ball away from center field, Peterson, it was no contest for Marte to come around and score in a breeze. Taylor made for a score from first base. No contest. Softly hitting out toward the bullpen. Everything was lined up perfectly. Look at the pitch again, going downstairs and getting it. And he did. He put a hook on that ball. And Marte sees it's going to get down right away. He's got a good read on it. Out towards second base. No contest.
Here's Ramirez.
What a piece of hitting by Andrew. That pitch was right down on the knees. Somehow he got under it.
From a different angle. Peterson. Gets away. McCutchen. Oh, he doesn't go initially. Now he does. And now he is going to be safe anyway.
Incredible.
McCutchen, if he goes immediately, he doesn't even draw a throw. But because he stopped, went back, and went, he gets a throw in a close play.
Oh, boy.
And they will be watching to see if replay shows anything different from Trip Gibson's call.
He starts and then stops. I guess he slid far enough on the outfield side. The glove, it's in plenty of time, but again, a tag higher up on the leg. Now, are they going to look at that? I'd be surprised if they don't look at it.
Well, they look at it, but they're not going to challenge it.
Okay.
So now, a chance for Ramirez with McCutchen at third, and see what the infield does here. They're going to come in. Watch Andrew McCutchen sees it, stops, figures he can go again, and it's the slide that saves him. What a slide. Two and two. Marte hit by the pitch and scores on the McCutchen double.
Nice bit of hitting going the opposite way. I never thought we'd see this kind of ball game tonight. But here you are, and the fans are loving it as the Pirates keep grinding against Clayton Kershaw. Pitch inside, just insides out. The ball keeps the hands inside, the hands out in front. That stays back. You push it the opposite way. Did you think you would see 7 runs tonight?
No way.
And then we're in the 5th.
Intense. Saw that sign earlier describing Garrett Cole. That describes this game. First week of August.
You know, we're talking so much about the pitchers, and rightfully so. I don't know who said it, but somebody came up with the idea. How about the other 8 guys on each team? They're involved, and they are involved. You know, the way this thing is going, I wouldn't be surprised to see Aramis Ramirez still second. That's
I would. I'd be surprised.
Okay. I'll give you that. But
Ramirez, a nice piece of hitting, though, for sure. The RBI single to give the Pirates and Garrett Cole the lead. The Dodgers have come back twice. Just in case you have any ideas.
Kind of surprised there'd even be a throw over there. But this is a wacky kind of night. Stay tuned.
It was fun to watch Gong now in his 3rd at bat against Clayton Kershaw. Struck out on the pitch in the dirt in the 2nd inning, and on a 1-2 pitch just flicked the ball into right field his last time up. And now he's in the hole, 1-2.
Like he was, I think, in that last at bat. Hit a curveball down and away on the corner downstairs to right field for the base hit.
Set up away again. 2-2.
And this is you don't see Kershaw missing that much with pitches. Usually he's efficient. His control has been impeccable, but he's struggling.
Luis Avilan, the lefty, is now up. Oh, and Kershaw fools Gong.
73 miles an hour. And Jung Ho hasn't seen that sequence very often.
4th strikeout for Kershaw. 2nd time he's gotten Gong.
This little dead fish. I would guess, too, that you haven't seen too many starts where Clayton Kershaw has thrown 84 pitches, 83 pitches in less than 5 innings.
He's given up 8 hits tonight. Last 3 starts combined, gave up 8 hits. And Morse will bounce this to the shortstop. But Starling Marte got it going, was hit by the pitch. Andrew McCutchen doubled him home, and Aramis Ramirez gave the Pirates this 4-3 lead. UPMC scoreboard, we go to the 6th inning. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. And what fabulous shots this week.
They've been around all week, and the sunset shots, the shots of our city.
Each shot prettier than the next.
Yep.
Clayton Kershaw back in the dugout, trailing now by a run. Andrew McCutchen has been on base 3 times against him with a couple of hits, a walk, and 2 runs scored to Ramos Ramirez, that opposite field single to drive in the go-ahead run. And we'll see what Garrett Cole does.
He will be throwing his 79th pitch. Both of these guys working hard, working harder than we usually see them.
To center field, McCutchen. Andre Ethier to the track, 1 out.
Thanks for the directional, Andre. By the way, the Robinson clan here tonight down the left field line, great Pirate fans, over 50 of them. Patty's probably part of that group, and honoring their parents by coming to these Pirate games.
They come here every year, dude.
Every year
around this time.
Right around this time.
That's neat stuff.
Great to have them here. They've been great, loyal Pirate fans. A lot of years.
Folks enjoying this game here. Sellout crowd. So whether they're here or watching on Root Sports, enjoying the Pirates and the Dodgers.
Yeah, this place is stuffed tonight. Great. Up on the rotunda.
I know Kate, Rick, and Connie Humphrey are watching. And yeah, let's take a look at this shot. That's your favorite, isn't it?
That's my favorite, looking over the shadow and the old time thing. The only difference between the old time shots is the color.
I was going to say, the only one that matches this one, I thought you were going to say, is the shot from center field toward home plate at Dodger Stadium. I really love that one too.
That's phenomenal. We used to catch the bus out there after the games and look back, and boy, you knew you were at Dodger Stadium. But this place here, I mean, it's even beautiful when it's empty, but when it's stuffed, it is something different. The city of Pittsburgh has done itself proud of this ballpark and the people that come here night after night.
Pirates currently stand 6 back of the Cardinals in the Central. Cardinals and Brewers playing tonight in Milwaukee. It's 0-0 in the 3rd. The Dodgers lead the Giants by 3.5 games in the National League West because the Giants fell to the Cubs at Wrigley earlier today.
And how about the San Francisco Giants picking up Mike Leake, and he goes on the DL?
He makes 1 start for the Giants after the trade from the Reds, and today went on the disabled list.
Giants fan here tonight.
Yeah. Not happy about that news you just gave him.
Yep. They'll be here soon, but not tonight.
Well, now it's gone to 3-2 on Yasmani Grandal, who has struck out and hit into a double play.
Some nights it's just not easy. Just keep working.
Cole had a 1-2-3 second, but the Dodgers have had a base runner for the first 5 and popped him up. Gone. 2 outs. And time now for our Data Strong fan photo of the game, brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, that's a cool shot. To carry.
How good is that? That's one of those classic shots, just walking across the ball field.
Yep. Field of Dreams like. Yep. And this place has become a Field of Dreams. And that's their man out there in center. Spent the day yesterday with another Make-A-Wish kid. Look at Yasiel Puig. That reaction. This is one of the things that bothers baseball fans, some Dodger fans, and even some Dodgers. This reaction.
Well, he's got a case, but then the demonstrations.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, theatrics.
Waved his arm at Mark Carlson.
Yep. and Don Mattingly, you just saw there. Don's got a little old school in him, so you know they're containing things there.
1-2 on Puig. 2 outs.
Oh well.
It's Clayton.
yeah, it is. It's Mr. Kershaw.
Yeah, that's right.
He's in the building, and he is very, very good.
Hit well, but room for McCutchen. So Garrett Cole has his second 1-2-3 inning after the Bucks put up 2. Friday Night Rocks here at PNC Park. Sellout crowd seeing the Pirates and the Dodgers meet for the first time this season, the first of a 3-game series. Don't forget tomorrow afternoon, 4:05, and then Sunday night, nationally televised. Here's Sean Rodriguez. He has bounced out and struck out. Looks like Garrett Cole is done for the night. Joaquin Soria has started to loosen in the Pirates bullpen.
Yeah, and there's some indicators too. This point in the ball game, you're working that hard, you're laboring, your pitch count is up a little bit, and you're starting to throw high fly balls that go to a warning track or that neighbor. That's maybe a sign of tired legs, and that will be an indicator to a manager. Those high, long fly balls late.
Number 5 for Kershaw.
Oh. And he'll be coming up next inning to his spot. This should be it for him.
Good to see Garrett Cole smiling. As they call third strike. Chris Stewart, a bunt single and a bases loaded walk. And a nice hard hit, but picked by Callaspo.
He gets his money's worth against Mr. Kershaw. Stewart.
Neil Walker will pitch hit now for Cole.
You know, I don't care if you're ahead or Kershaw's tired or whatever. You don't start. The manager says, hey, pitch it against Clayton Kershaw. Okay.
Waka, waka, waka.
Yeah.
little scouting report. Well, the few times that we have seen the opposing bench remain quiet, we don't see the pitching coach.
Yeah,
it's been automatic the last few years. In this case, Grandal just went out to go over the scouting report with Kershaw. No Rick Honeycutt.
Yep, looked like a glove commercial out there. Catcher's glove up, pitcher's glove up over the face. I didn't know if they were Rawlings or not. Could have been. Well, there you have it. We usually see those down in the swamps in Louisiana, down in the bayous, down.
I don't know.
Yeah, the skeletons and things on these posts.
See them a lot here.
Shrunken heads.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Evil. I'm not so sure they should have let that in here.
Walker 0 for 8 in his career against Kershaw.
Not the only one, Neil.
Standing room only, wherever you can get a view.
This place has been rocking since about 4:30 this afternoon. This whole North Shore.
And Neil Walker.
There.
A pinch hit single to center.
There's a string that's broken. Now he has his first hit. Kershaw gave up his first run in forever tonight in the first inning, first swing. Walk, walk, walk. You know, if this thing holds up, this will be 2 losses in a row for Kershaw. Count the All-Star game. Well, not 2 in a row, but 2 recently. I think he was a losing pitcher in the All-Star game.
Gregor Polanco has 2 hits and 3 at-bats. Leadoff home run. Bottom of the first. First pitch homered. The 6th of the year. 2nd in as many games. Then singled in the 3rd and then was picked off rounding first base. Bounced to 2nd his last time up. Nine hits, the most he has allowed since his 2nd start of the season. He gave up 10 hits in Phoenix against the Diamondbacks on April the 11th. Nice block. Keeps Walker at first. Kershaw against Cole tonight, and Cole, the pitcher of record. Over the years, I said at the outset that Cole has decent numbers against the Pirates. This is his 9th start, but just 2 wins, 2-1, a 2.39 ERA. Last time the Pirates faced Kershaw, June of 2013, he opposed Brandon Compton. Polanco to right. Back is Puig for the final out. 6 innings down. Pirates lead 4-3. more pitches once again this season, more than any other team. Mark Melancon encourages young athletes to lead a healthy and active lifestyle. That and much, much more inside Pirates baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network tonight after postgame on Root Sports. Work to be done, 4-3.
The new guy comes in. We'll get to him in a minute. Neil Walker stays in the ball game to play second. Rodriguez moves over to first base. And Joakim Soria will make his 4th appearance for the Pirates. He has a save. He has gone over the 200 save mark in his career this year before coming over to the Pirates. And, talking on the radio the other day, Greg, I think this is one of the key items for the Pittsburgh Pirates this year, the acquisition of Soria.
Well, they acquired him to basically make it a 6-inning game. Build up that bullpen so that he could set up Watson and then go to Melancon so that you have the lead. After 6 innings most nights, you'll get a W. The Royals went to the World Series with that approach last year.
And way back in the day, the Cincinnati Reds used to do it. And with the starting rotation in flux, you're going to have some 6-inning starts, maybe 5-inning starts where you got to work your way through the first 5 or 6.
Callaspo 0 for 2 against Cole. Clayton Kershaw probably done for the night. We'll see. Cole goes 6, gives up 3 runs on 4 hits. He walked 3, struck out 5.
Kind of working hard like he did in that last start against Cincinnati. Working this time, he's got the slight edge at this point.
2 walks hurt him. 2 of the 3 scored. Chopper, fair ball. 1 out.
Maybe he can turn it around. He lost 4-3 to Cincinnati. Maybe he can win 4-3. It's Dodger Blue.
Joakim Soria. Steve talked about all the saves over the years. Pirates acquired him from the Detroit Tigers before the deadline. Pitched on Wednesday night. Pitched a scoreless 7th inning. 43 games this year for the Tigers. 23 saves.
Had a run, got the 200th against Seattle, not for them. So got over that milestone.
Peterson's been trouble. A double off the wall and right. Nearly homered in the 3rd inning. And walked and scored in the 5th inning. Joakim Soria, Mexican native, now lives in Scottsdale, 31 years old. Five years with the Royals, season and a half with the Texas Rangers, and then dealt last summer from Texas to Detroit. Peterson is an aggressive young hitter. (23 years old). His dad, Stu, played in 8 big league games with the Dodgers in 1981. A former 9th round pick of LA, and like his son Jock, left-handed hitting outfielder.
Nice looking curveball by Soria, and he wastes it. Talking about Peterson staying alive against a good looking breaking ball. Just missing. We do not need any more base runners. Like in 0. This ball misses up and away. Not by much, but the correct call.
Popped him up. So Sean Rodriguez will make the catch for the second out. Jock Peterson, to say he's upset is an understatement. You can hear him from up here. Tonight's Allegheny Health Network injury update. Reliever Rob Scahill has been on the DL since late June, right forearm tightness. He's on a rehab assignment. Yesterday, a couple of scoreless innings for the Gulf Coast League Pirates. That would strengthen the bullpen once he returns. Carl Crawford will pinch hit for Kershaw. And bounces the ball, and Crawford stood there. Oh, it's going to be catcher interference. Catcher interference is going to be called, and Crawford will reach. It is one of those kind of bizarre nights.
You've seen just about everything. Yep, you see the club getting hit. Even a better angle. Almost got him with a backswing on top of everything else. Almost got him twice.
Carl Crawford is aboard with 2 outs. Jimmy Rollins at the plate. Rollins has been on base 3 times. A couple of hits, a walk, a steal, RBI single. Crawford, who 2 days ago turned 34 and was one of the better base stealers in the American League in his years with the Tampa Bay Rays. Pirates thinking he might be going. In fact, they're convinced he's going.
Yeah.
Crawford hasn't attempted to steal this season. He's only played in 26 games. Injury plagued late years for Carl Crawford. Strike called on Rollins. Now in his 3rd year with the Dodgers. Jock Peterson popped up for the second out. 0-2 on Rollins.
Rollins escaped the Phillies. Got himself right in the middle of contention.
36 years old after 15 seasons in Philadelphia. What an ovation they gave him when he made his first plate appearance the other day in Philly. Fairly close play.
Under the watchful eyes of another great base stealer, Davey Lopes.
There he goes. Off-speed pitch and a steal. Pirates figured he'd be going, and he does steal his first base of the season. Yeah, Davey Lopes probably has a lot to do with that.
Didn't look like a huge lead. But there he is. We did not need another base runner tonight. We certainly didn't need one in scoring position.
Two and two on Jimmy Rollins.
Did he? No, not even close.
Stays 2-2.
Guy like Jimmy Rollins just makes you crazy, fouling off good pitches, extending at bats.
Behind their backs.
Yeah. Putting the hex on them.
Just gets a piece of it. Barely.
There he is at that game again, staying alive.
Jimmy Rollins, who came in hitting just 197 from this left side of the plate. 2 hits, an RBI, and a walk. And now it's 3-2. Joakim Soria thought he had the third out. Pitch to Brandon Crawford, hit the ball to Aramis Ramirez, but Chris Stewart interferes. And Howie Kendrick on deck. Toward right center field. And it is off the wall. It's a tie game. And Jimmy Rollins into second base with a double. It's 4-4.
And what a night he is having. On top of that, made a sparkling play to be perceptive enough to know he could get the out over at first base on Polanco. He's had himself a night. Garrett Cole now gets a no decision, and Kershaw still with a possible chance to get the win.
36-year-old Jimmy Rollins on base 4 times, 3 hits, 2 RBIs, and in scoring position for Howie Kendrick.
And that ball didn't miss by more than a foot of getting out of here. Very close to that yellow home run line.
Rollins came in hitting 145 with runners in scoring position this season. A dozen hits and 83 at bats. And he has 2 hits in those situations tonight. Kendrick hit the hard ground ball in the 3rd inning with 2 outs that Aramis Ramirez stopped, diving stop. Ramirez got to his feet and threw to first. Michael Morse was playing first. The ball took Morse just off the bag as he tried to make the stretch. Not only did Jock Peterson score from 3rd, but Jimmy Rollins came all the way around to score from 2nd. Dangerous hitter at the plate. Kendrick came in with a .357 batting average with runners in scoring position. That's 9th in the league. Diving stop again, Ramirez. This time he gets Kendrick. at 4. He came this close to giving the Dodgers the lead. Allegheny Health Network Supermo. See the ball hit above the padding.
Yep. A little fencing in between that yellow line and the top of the padding.
What a night for the veteran Jimmy Rollins. It's a 4-4 game.
See the fencing there. Well, back to work. That's where we started.
Unearned run against Soria. Point. Fountain. Next to the blimp. Direct TV. If you've ever wanted to be a major leaguer, now's your chance. Reserve your spot today for the Pirates Fantasy Camp Weekend at PNC Park, September 18th and 19th. Your team will be captained by a former Pirates player. You'll get your own authentic uniform and play all of your games right here on the field at PNC Park. For more information, reserve your roster spot. Call 1-800-5-BUCKS.
Dodgers have a new pitcher replacing Kershaw, who went 6 innings. 4 runs, 9 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Juan Nicasio making his 37th appearance. 45 innings, 48 strikeouts, but 21 walks.
Dodger bullpen has been a concern lately. Starling Marte leads off. No decision for Kershaw, no decision for Cole. Broken bat. Softens the liner. 1 out. Marte was hit by a pitch in the 5th. And scored on an Andrew McCutchen double. Goes back to the dugout 0 for 3. McCutchen, meanwhile, a walk, 2 hits, 2 runs scored against Kershaw.
Andrew is having himself a night.
Nicasio, the former Colorado Rocky, traded over to the Dodgers in November. One of those situations, a guy that pitched his entire big league career, Coors Field in Denver, and an ERA of 4 seasons of 5.03. But now half of his games at pitcher-friendly Dodger Stadium.
Makes a difference. So one of our tips to win, our guy versus their guy. Well, now it's our pen versus their pen. Looked like it might have been a perfecta. Close to it. But, that pitch that we just took a look at previously downstairs in the neighborhood of where Andrew got it. And he delivered that huge drive out to left center field. Marte scored on it. That double. Back in the 5th inning. Good job of ruining that pitch. Andrew working it.
McCutchen 3 for 7 lifetime against Nicasio. Ramirez on deck.
He drove in the Pirates' 4th.
Nicasio gets him.
Upstairs, and Andrew chasing something other than the fastball, looking for the fastball, and just couldn't shut down the swing.
Tony Watson will pitch the 8th.
As scheduled. How many times have we seen Ramirez take that pitch and drive it? Sometimes to gaps, sometimes to grandstands. Right in off the hands. Close to hitting the hand. That ball kind of running in. You can see the late movement right off the bat handle. Ouch. Ouch. And ouch.
One, two, three for Nicasio. Go to the 8th. 4-4.
Beautiful pictures from the Allegheny Health Network Supermo.
There's a beautiful picture right there.
Get them every night, all night long. They're hoping for a beautiful finish to this ball game. 4-4.
Another sellout crowd, and Tony Watson.
Four ball game. Tony Watson working his usual 8th inning. Trying to hold the fort.
Gonzalez 0 for 3.
Soria, the 1 inning, the 1 run, the 1 hit.
Unearned.
Yep.
Catcher's interference error on Chris Stewart, allowing Crawford to reach, and Crawford scored on the Rollins double. Ties him up. Big time, 1-2.
Tony has that big sweeping breaking ball, but he can also come up and in, and that's way up, way in, way off the plate.
Gonzalez hits 300 against lefties.
Now we'll watch where Stewart sets up. They want it away with the breaking ball again. Down and away. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty tidy work.
Well, between innings after that top of the 7th, Chris Stewart was back in the dugout. And he not happy, of course, that that defensive miscue cost the Pirates the run. Cole, but you know, Chris Stewart has been so good,
and he plays it the way it's supposed to be played.
He is a pro. Buck's lucky to have him as the backup to Francisco Cervelli, to Russell Martin last year. Scott Van Slyke batting for Ethier, the son of the former Pirates Gold Glove All-Star Andy Van Slyke.
And we've caught bits and pieces of some Dodger games, and he's got 4 home runs now, but I saw him hit a monster shot. He's got enormous power.
He's a big man.
A little leg kick going on too.
6'4", 220 pounds. Now 29 years old. 14th round pick of the Dodgers 10 years ago. Now a full count. And it's like 4 out of 11 as a pinch hitter.
It'll be a busy night the rest of the way.
Yeah. Jim Johnson, the righty. Luis Avilan. And a 1-out walk. Second largest crowd of the season behind only opening day. 39,404. The 16th sellout of the season.
That's what we expected tonight. Groundbreaking. Remember that night, all the officials with their special shovels?
Yeah.
Yep. That had baseball handles.
Oh yes, Monty Grandal. This year you don't want him to be batting right-handed. In the past, that was fine. Career batting average from this side of the plate coming into the season of .225, but Grandal hitting .378, albeit only 37 at bats. 14 hits and 37 ABs from this right side of the plate. And popped it up.
Oh, Major League pop-up.
Ramirez. Boy, Grandal just stood there, and then just as the ball was about in Ramirez's glove, he started to take off for first. And he's Mattingly looked like he's shaking his head a little bit there.
But he's got to get ready because the next guy can make you shake your head too. And maybe have a little discussion.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Greg's talking about. arguing with the umpire where the ball's in the air. Oh yeah, I forgot something. Well, your manager will remind you.
Yasiel Puig at the plate. Pops it up.
Is he going to run?
Sean Rodriguez will make the catch. Oh, Puig fires down the bat. Watson pitches a scoreless top of the 8th, 4-4. Don Mattingly watched Yasiel Puig slam the bat after popping out. Allegheny Health Network Supermo.
Yep.
What do you think as a pitcher of that? You're Tony Watson.
That's what gets.
You get the guy out, but you can't get Puig out.
Like, I don't deserve. I'm not good enough to get you out.
Right.
You're so frustrated. You should be bombing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the issue. Scott Van Slyke stays in to play left field.
Tony Watson pitches a scoreless top of the 8th, and now bottom half. Jung Ho Kang against Juan Nicasio pitched a 1-2-3-7. Kang was 1 out of 3 against Kershaw.
Greg, I remember striking out Tim Foley in Montreal and him just standing after the 3rd strike, just stood there beating his bat on home plate. I mean, like 10, 15 times. Yeah, that really makes you feel good as a pitcher. Tony doesn't miss much. Stuff can go in the file. You don't have to act on it, but it's kind of in the file. Just one home run given up, in case you're wondering, by Nicasio. Makes this one be number 2 then, if it happens.
Full count.
He's walked 21. He's vulnerable in that area.
Broken bat, roller, and Kang reaches on the infield single.
We'll take it.
His 2nd hit of the night.
don't have to get a lot of it. If you hit it in that direction, kind of slowly, they'll catch it, but just have to take a bite out of it.
Well, Gung reaches, and now Travis Ishikawa announced as the pinch hitter, so Don Mattingly will call on a left-hander. Dodgers skipper will take out Nicasio. I'll tell you who Ishikawa faces when we come back.
Pittsburgh Pirates, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And we check out the Nissan Road ahead tomorrow afternoon. Former Cincinnati Red Matt Latos will take the hill for the Dodgers against Francisco Liriano, and then Sunday night baseball here at PNC Park. Charlie Morton against the former Brave Alex Wood.
Now we're going to see former Brave Luis Avilan. There's Avilan, 50 appearances out of the Braves bullpen before coming over to be a Los Angeles Dodger. Just one time out of the Dodger pen so far.
And Francisco Cervelli will pinch hit for Ishikawa, who was announced as the pinch hitter. Wanting to see if Cervelli would bunt. It would be hard to imagine that they would waste Cervelli to bunt here. What do you think, Steve?
Yep, I agree. Dodgers are not playing for it. Fastball, it's at third base, not in at all.
Oh, he's not up there to bunt. Pirates have seen Avilan in the past, including a couple of different times when the Pirates were in Atlanta and when the Braves were here in late June. Did some damage against him. 1-1.
Just off the outside part of the plate. Nicasio goes an inning plus.
Ball, 2 strikes. Starling Marte hit a home run off Avilan at Turner Field and tagged him with the loss. Cervelli has not faced Avilan. Budweiser bow tie bar, they're watching.
Yep. It's a comfortable watch out in that neighborhood. Everybody's happy.
2-2.
You don't have to wear a bow tie to enjoy that neighborhood.
Right. Cervelli 0 for 3 this season as a pinch hitter. Full count. Walks for Avilan in 39 innings, but 2 of those were intentional.
Well, this could set up shop for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Another wide one.
Line drive, base hit for Francisco Cervelli off the bench.
Huge. 2 on, nobody out. Pirates in business. Nicely done. Downstairs, didn't try to do too much with it. Good solid contact. Now we're going to have a meeting of everybody. The Dodgers infield, pitcher, catcher. 2 on, nobody out. John Rodriguez has already checked with Rick Sofield.
Base hit for Cervelli. Moves Gong into scoring position. Pinch hit single for the Pirates starting catcher. And now they have a big-time strategy session going on here. Not automatic that Rodriguez would be bunting. It would appear to be. Chris Stewart, the on-deck hitter. And Neil Walker.
Nobody warming up in the Dodger bullpen. This belongs to Avalon for the time being.
This would seem to be
they're expecting it.
Fun situation. 4 sacrifice bunts for Rodriguez on the season.
Firm to third base. Get off that second base, Jung Ho, the minute he delivers. Wheel play.
Wheel play against an experienced position player.
Yep. You see the shortstop breaking over, so you can cut the third baseman loose to come on in.
You're supposed to swing away there, aren't you, Steve, if you're at the plate?
Yep.
That wide open.
If you get a decent, something decent to work with.
Again, the wheel play on, and again, Rodriguez was showing bunt.
And with the wheel play, Teoscar is not committing as much as you usually see. Usually they're just crashing. They're betting that Rollins can beat Jung Ho Kang over to third base.
Callaspo at third, Rollins at short. Kendrick, the second baseman, Gonzalez at first.
2-0. Another wide one.
3-0.
Sure. Take it. Maybe a little Christmas in August. Who knows?
And now swinging away. And the wheel play was not on, and it's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Loaded for Chris Stewart. We talked last inning about the fact that the Dodger bullpen has struggled lately. One of the reasons they brought in Avilan in that big 3-team deal involving 13 players. Bullpen ERA not necessarily a great indicator, but an ERA of 2.25 in April, 2.82 in May, 4.20 in June, 6.27 in July, 6.40 this month, and out comes Rick Honeycutt.
And try to get their act together in this very difficult situation for the Dodgers. Wonderful opportunity. And you want as much as you can get, but you don't need a lot here. Make sure you get something out of this, and you can take this ball game to a 3-out situation. And not that it's a big deal, but you look ahead to the top of the ninth, you're looking at the bottom third of the Dodger batting order. So they are revved up on the North Shore. It's a noisy neighborhood. I'll tell you, Greg, if we make something out of this and then Mark comes in and takes care of it, puts a lid on it, there'll be a party in the streets before this game and after.
Infield in. They have to cut off the run. And a strike on Stewart. He went. And if he hits a ground ball at an infielder, it's a double play.
Yep. Get a little lift. Get it out of the infield. Take your chances.
Almost trickles away, but Grandal keeps it close and keeps Gong at third.
Boy, you've got to be sure at third base. You've got to be sure that it's going to get away far enough. If you're not sure, absolutely sure, as you can't be in that situation, you've got to stay there.
Ball. But they settle for one. Well, looked like it had some English on it. And Kendrick and Grandal combined to get just the one. And one big one for Avilan.
It was even playing that close in. I mean, they're in all around, but you know, I don't know. And kind of wide throw, just never kind of developed.
Not the strongest throw in the world either.
No.
Well, here is Neil Walker batting right-handed. And middle infield, well, not at double play depth. But, back a couple steps.
Going upstairs to try to get something with some distance out of the infield. Well, you remember when the Pirates had them loaded with nobody out against Kershaw? It was difficult. They were able to grind one run out of it. And you certainly want to do at least that here. This is ball game time.
And now all of a sudden, Avilan, who walked Rodriguez to load the bases, got Stewart to hit a one-hopper to Kendrick, and now he's out in front of Walker, 0-2. Veteran Luis Avilan going to work his way out of this one. Another block. Grandal. Keeps Cervelli now at third.
When they bounce that far out in front, you never know what kind of a bounce some of those pitches that have a lot of spin on them are going to take.
Walker trying to find a way to get this ball out of the infield. She got a great arm in right field. No guarantees. And just got a piece of it. And Puig playing a shallow right.
Wow, that's staying alive somehow, some way.
Fiji style.
Yep.
You see Puig playing very shallow right. And a ball hit to him. If he doesn't have to go back on it, Cervelli's not going to score. Another 1-2 pitch. Reaching for it and grounding it to first. There's one and 2 outs, and Rodriguez almost slipped rounding third, just does get back, no throw, and now 2 outs. Once again, the Pirates will look to Gregory Polanco against a left-handed pitcher. Walker hits the ball to Gonzalez for the out there. Rodriguez round third and scramble back.
Don't want to get frisky there. Well, it took until 2 outs to grind that run against Kershaw, and that came on a free pass.
Polanco against the lefty, the veteran, Avilan.
Conference. You can't blame them. They want to be sure. So you're looking at anything now. Your wild pitch, pass ball error. Looked pretty sweet with nobody out.
Polanco, who homered off Clayton Kershaw, leading
Lefty
off the bottom of the first. Here's another look. First pitch.
Oh, what a swing. Went down and in and launched it.
Oh,
Hit batter.
that would be fine, but just missed him.
Mm.
You know what everybody's thinking.
Leave that knee out there.
Yeah. 1-1 the count. Earlier this season, Polanco singled to left field off of Avilan down in Atlanta. And now 1-2, and what a big time lift this would be
for either team, regardless of how it goes.
Sean Rodriguez walked. He's at third. Chris Stewart hit into a fielder's choice at second. So did Walker at first. Mark Melanson will pitch the ninth. Will he be trying to save it or keep it tied? Broken bat roller. And a flip to first and a very close play. Bang, bang. And Avilan gets out of it. He walked Rodriguez on 4 pitches, then got 3 ground balls. And this one at first. Pirates watching under hostile conditions on the left coast. Roy in LA. We're at Dodger Stadium. Here at PNC Park, it's tied here at 4. See some Dodger fans.
Big Dodger fan.
Francisco Cervelli stays in. And Mark Melancon tries to keep it tied at 4. Looking down.
The jewel of, not the Nile, the Allegheny.
Alberto Callaspo leads off. Callaspo 100 points better from this left side. But 0 for 3 in this one. Fouled out and flied out against Garrett Cole and grounded out against Joaquim Soria. Dodgers tied it with an unearned run in the 7th inning. The Cardinals, by the way, are leading Milwaukee 6-0 in the bottom of the 6th at Miller Park. Randall Grichuk homered in that game.
How about his contribution?
Yeah. Rockies are leading the Nationals in the 9th, 5-4 in D.C. The Mets leading an interleague game in St. Petersburg over Tampa Bay 4-3 in the bottom of the 9th. The Mets look to take a 2.5 game lead in the National League East. They've won 6 straight. The Pirates will be traveling to New York next weekend. They'll meet the Cardinals Tuesday night. The Pirates have rearranged their rotation. Not a surprise, they'll pitch Jeff Locke Tuesday, Garrett Cole Wednesday, and Francisco Liriano Thursday. And bounce toward Rodriguez, but foul. Charlie Morton. See him pitch tomorrow.
Bunch of starters here.
Bounce to first, and that is out number 1. Francisco Liriano pitches tomorrow afternoon. Charlie Morton on Sunday night. 1 out in the top of the 9th. A.J. Burnett, of course, on the disabled list. Jeff Locke was pitching strong baseball through 5 innings on Wednesday, and then bang, gave up 2-run homer to Kyle Schwarber and the solo shot to Anthony Rizzo. Cubs tied it. The Bucks ended up winning it 7-5. Melancon picked up his 34th save on Wednesday night against the Cubs. Face the rookie Jock Peterson. In case they take the lead, the closer Kenley Jansen. Jim Johnson, the other right-hander. Oh, big cut. 1-2 on Peterson.
All the way around.
What a sight at that home run derby contest in Cincinnati. Jock Peterson. The finals against Todd Frazier. And the moment that was captured on national TV, his brother Champ, who has Down syndrome, big fan of Albert Pujols, whose oldest child Isabella also has Down syndrome, and the big bear hug. Pujols, Peterson's brothers, ball bounced and fair. 2 outs.
Let's keep that deal going. Easy ground ball to first.
Playing fantasy baseball, MLB.tv serves up real-time highlights and pitch tracking info on your out-of-market fantasy players, live or on demand on over 400 devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Get MLB.tv today. Looking for a W. Those guys. And now Alex Guerrero will pinch hit. Rookie Guerrero hitting .234. He has 8 hits off the bench, 3 of them home runs. Couple of strikes. He did not think that was a strike, but it was.
Yep.
Did he go? Yes, with a strikeout. And a 1-2-3 ninth for Mark Melancon, and now the Pirates will try and get Mark the Shark a W. Starling Marte will lead things off, heading to the bottom of the ninth. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. And thanks for those tremendous shots we've had during this homestand. Don't forget tomorrow afternoon, 4:05 game, Fan Jam. OAR performs in concert afterward, and Sunday night baseball. 8:08 first pitch to conclude the homestand.
Jim Johnson coming on, former closer for Baltimore. 3 years ago. He had 50-plus saves, back-to-back seasons, All-Star in 2012.
Part of that big 3-team, 13-player deal. 49 appearances, 2.25 ERA with Atlanta.
I wonder where that pitch was. Sterling gets a call, perhaps.
A little outside.
Just a little bit outside.
Off of Grandal.
Out of the cage a little bit.
One career walk-off. A couple of strikes on him.
Guess who? Henry McCutchen struck out last time up, but certainly a good night previous to that.
And he strikes out Marte to start the bottom of the ninth.
A lot of sliders and then that fastball inside. Good pitching pattern right there. Outside, 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 inside.
And again, this series against the Dodgers continues tomorrow afternoon. Francisco Liriano on the mound for the Pirates. Coverage starts at 3:30. Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. Breaking ball, and McCutchen smiles because of how that looked with a breaking pitch.
High inside curveball.
.95 strike. Johnson gave up a home run to Jeff Francoeur in Philadelphia the night before last. Against the Cardinals just before the All-Star break. Andrew McCutchen, walk-off home run.
Saturday Night Fever.
Lays off that breaking pitch.
Johnson's still a guy that throws 95, and he's got that little deception move just before he starts coming forward to home plate. Cocks the ball kind of in back of him, hides it a bit. Be able to see it from this angle. There it is, 94. That's looking for the fastball when you pull it that far foul at 95 miles an hour.
Well, McCutchen is aboard for the fourth time tonight. And now Aramis Ramirez.
Let's see if we can find a gap somehow, somewhere down in the corner. Put Andrew in motion. Watch that speed.
Maybe put him in motion anyway. Johnson very slow to the plate, but this is going to be a double play ball. And we're going extra innings.
beef jerky. Feed your wild side. Here we go.
Extra innings. Pirates and the Dodgers go to the 10th. It's the first meeting of the year between these two clubs, and Antonio Bastardo is on the hill.
We thought it was going to be an airtight ball game, just all kind of pitching tight, low scoring. Well, you got 4-4. More offense than we expected, and more innings than we expected.
Well, this ninth start for Kershaw against the Pirates in his career, and 4 of the games Kershaw has started against Pittsburgh have gone extra innings. Ramos Ramirez delivered the RBI single in the 5th. Gregory Polanco, who homered in the 1st. Andrew McCutchen on base 4 times, doubled in a run in the 5th, scored a pair of runs. Starling Marte hit by a pitch that led to the first of 2 runs in the 5th inning. Sean Rodriguez, though he is 0 for 3 with a walk at the plate, a couple of stellar defensive plays early on in this ball game, like the second batter, Howie Kendrick, who will be due up second here in the 10th. Jimmy Rollins aboard to start the game with a base hit to right off Garrett Cole. Howie Kendrick in a smash toward the right side of the infield, and Rodriguez turned it into a slick double play.
Probably both these teams feeling if they scored 4 runs tonight, they were going to get a pretty easy win. But, both Cole and Kershaw struggled by their standards.
And of course, the Pirates had the bases loaded with nobody out in the 8th inning, and Luis Avilan able to work his way out of that big jam. Jimmy Rollins has been all over the place. On base 4 times, 3 hits, 2 RBIs, RBI single in the 5th, RBI double off the wall in the 7th that tied the game. A couple of former Philadelphia Philly teammates here. Bastardo against Jimmy Rollins. Rollins, a 3-time All-Star, the MVP of the National League in 2007, and with 2,306 hits in 15 seasons in Philadelphia, the all-time Phillies hits leader. Steve, when you ever faced a former teammate, one that had been traded, and down the road you faced him in a different uniform, ball hit towards center field will be the first out. Did you ever feel like you had an advantage of any kind?
I still did, because I still believe that pitchers have the advantage, and the hitters have to react to you. They might know you, but excuse me, if you make good pitches, I don't. Just because they know you, the style, everybody knew that I threw a lot of sliders. But if I was on my game, I would stay with that, even with that knowledge, because if the pitchers make continual good pitches, they're going to succeed. It's a tempting thought that might help you a little bit. Does it make a big difference? I don't think so.
Did you pay as much attention to opposing players' tendencies, or did you just pitch to your strengths?
You have to pitch to your strength.
Because it seems to me a lot of times that with all the video and all the statistics that you can get caught up in that.
Yeah, you're looking for a weakness, and you don't want to get away from your strength, because you got there for a reason. You're pitching you got a certain style. You're gonna risk that. Good looking pitch by Antonio right there. That's a trap. I think it's a trap. If you're a slider pitcher, you got to stay with your sliders. And you look at video. Okay, this guy hits sliders. He hits, but does he hit your slider? I don't know. You don't want to get consumed by that, and there is so much information flying. It's tempting.
What would you think if you had pitched in this era?
I couldn't.
Too much information?
Well, yeah, and also.
Oh, that's a fair ball. This time, Ramirez not able to rob Kendrick. Howie Kendrick has a 1-out double. That is his second hit. He had a 2-run infield single in the third, robbed of a hit that would have given the Dodgers the lead in the 7th by Ramos Ramirez.
Right down in the corner, and the Dodgers set up shop.
Oh, another time you hear about no doubles defense. No, it's double inside the third base bag. Now Adrian Gonzalez.
And just to finish up that thought, Greg, there's several reasons. Somebody's going to tell me when I'm supposed to throw to first base. Somebody's going to call pitches for me. Somebody's going to count my pitches. Somebody tell me what my pitch speed is. Somebody tell me to watch video. I'm watching video. I don't do computers, but I had a computer in my head about major National League hitters. I knew that I wanted to get Tony Perez in a situation where I could get him to chase a high fastball and do that by sliders and other sorts of things, wanting to get to a certain situation. And I still think some of the great pitchers have gut instincts. They have a feel. It's time. I'm supposed to throw a breaking ball here. I've tried to get to this particular point where I want to throw a slider away to somebody, or I want to turn the ball over, get him off the inside of the plate so I can set him up with a slider. And if you're a good major league pitcher, you're 2 clicks ahead of what you're trying to do in your mind. I'm 2 pitches ahead of myself. I'm throwing this pitch for 2 pitches down the line that I'm trying to get to. So, and that's a gut feel. And I'm not saying it's totally wrong. I mean, we're in a different world, and that's okay.
But somehow I cannot see Danny Murtaugh walking up to you and saying, "Hey, big boy, you're done after 6. You're at the 100 pitch mark."
No, I mean, you're going to fight him for the ball.
You're ahead 3-0.
Yeah. Or if you want the ball, Danny, we need to talk tomorrow. Not today. I'm going to give you the ball. But I do think that sometimes you can get thinking too much out on the mound, and where's your gut feel?
Right.
Well, okay, am I worried about this arm slot or this particular aspect of you? If you're good, I used to break it down even more. Your brain will tell your arm what to do properly. But then I will also qualify with the fact that when I couldn't throw strikes anymore, I had no idea. I had no idea why. To this day, I don't have any idea why. And people might say, well, if you had a certain set of mechanics, A, B, C, D, you could go back and you wouldn't be dangling like this. I don't really subscribe to that. If it's there, it's there for me. If it went away, it went away. I don't know why.
Well, then you were not there. I was looking over the last time the Pirates and Dodgers met in the postseason, and then you look down the road, this could happen. Yeah, 1974. What a series that was. 1974, the last time the Pirates and Dodgers met in the postseason, and who knows, down the road they could meet up again. 2-2 on Gonzalez. Still 2-2. Back then it was the best of 5 National League Championship Series.
Weren't you telling me about the disparity, how they dominated offensively? Some crazy
during
separation.
the regular season.
Oh yeah. To get there.
Yeah.
Their differential of offense.
The Dodgers won 102 games during the regular season, outscored the opposition by 237 runs.
That's incredible.
And a strikeout for Bastardo, 2 down.
Huge. Good fastball out away from that hitting area. And the wave. You make me go back to when I was 22 years old and I started my first major league game against Don Drysdale. I didn't have any video on the Dodger team on Tommy Davis and Maury Wills and Willie Davis, all those guys. Frank Howard.
They give you a little scouting report?
No, I was terrified.
I mean, what they do is, hey, go ahead, go out there, guys.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve. Pitch.
We didn't have any meeting.
Your pitching coach didn't say, "Hey, this guy likes to do this."
No, we didn't have a meeting.
Who was your catcher? Your big league debut?
Smokey Burgess. I had to tell him in the third inning, Smokey, I got a breaking ball because of the speed of the Dodgers. All they wanted to do was run, and Smokey wanted the fastball to be able to throw to second.
Scott Van Slyke takes 2-0. He walked against Tony Watson in the 8th inning and stayed in to play left. Esmani Grandal on deck, first base open. I want to be careful, though. Again, Grandal hitting .378 as a right-handed batter this year.
Dangerous count here. You got a free ride for Scott. Out in front. Didn't get the fastball he was looking for. But this is what you read too. Regardless of the scouting report, a guy is out that far in front, you're going to put that in your back pocket. That's just food for thought down the road. If he's going to be that far in front, you're going to go back to that pitch at some point if in a given opportunity. Looking for a fastball that much. There used to be an old theory that a guy would do that on purpose to try to set you up. Okay, I'm going to be way out in front, so I'm going to slow down.
Would, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to be that much out in front. So you're going to come back, and I'm going to be looking for that breaking ball because I looked so bad on the previous one. That didn't happen as much as folklore would have it. That's dangerous, trying to set a pitcher up.
Full count.
Not dangerous to your health, just dangerous to your batting average. Looking pitch right there, down in the zone.
He's going to get Van Slyke to try and chase. He has struck out 34 times and 130 at bats. Nope. Walked him. First and second for Grandal.
Who's more of a contact hitter than Scott seems to be with that big swing. Scott Van Slyke.
Strike one.
Kind of doesn't matter what kind of speed a runner has at second base in this situation with 2 outs. For a couple of reasons. They're going to wave you around, take a shot at scoring, throw from the outfield. Also, the infielders have to play it pretty honest, so you can maybe get an exaggerated lead at second base. So a base hit to the outfield is almost terminal.
Well, Cervelli kept it in front but doesn't throw it. Tough pitch to block. He's hurting.
I wasn't watching Scott Van Slyke. He's had an uncomfortable trip into second base. This is down in front of home plate, and that's that breaking ball, and that spin can take it either way. It sounds funny.
Did that get that wrist again that's bothered him much of this season? The right wrist. Ken Potenziano, assistant trainer, and Clint Hurdle made their way out of the dugout, but really say he's okay. He's going to buy himself some time.
Yeah, in this conversation, I'm not trying to imply that they're doing the wrong thing. It's just that approaches have changed. I mean, this is 40 years ago, so we've certainly come a long way with information, and information in and of itself can't hurt. Sometimes too much can be a little overload, but it's a different approach now. But right now, we need the approach to find an out here in the top of the 10th.
1-2 on Yasmani Grandal. .42 RBIs on the year, and again Jansen ready, their closer.
And certainly Grandal on the side of home plate he wants to be. His averages you were talking about earlier.
He's hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position. Antonio Bastardo, a little walk of the tightrope. But you know him, wears the different old-time Pirate uniforms. Rick Saflinski, about 20 minutes left to vote on MLB.com to try and get him to be the MLB top vendor. He's made it to the finals. He's involved with some other guy known as Lemonade Guy. MLB.com/cut4. You'll be able to vote. There he is, Ricky Saflinski. MLB.com/cut4. About 20 minutes left to vote. I think voting shuts down, if I'm not mistaken, at 11. But at any rate, if you can vote for him, it'd be great. He's a tremendous guy, and boy, what a big-time Pirates fan he is. MLB.com/cut4, and you'll see Mustache Man is what they're calling Ricky Saflinski.
He's the best. His attitude with the people, the uniforms, the whole package. He is terrific. We're rooting for him.
Just a few votes away from becoming the Major League Baseball's top vendor of the year.
Yeah, you can't let Lemonade Guy beat him.
Come on,
he's not in the same category.
MLB.com.
It's Ricky. He's a good guy. It's great to be around.
Jung Ho Gong, 2-0 count. Jim Johnson, his second inning of work. That's ball 3.
Let's get it going again.
During the break, they were looking at that right wrist that been taking some shots this season. And how about that? A 4-pitch walk to start the bottom of the 10th inning. Pirates have had at least a base runner in 8 of the 10 innings.
Right in the middle of that possibility in the bottom of the 8th. The base hit on their way to loading the bases with nobody out.
Remember, after the leadoff hit by Gong, Cervelli pinch hit and then singled to left. Third baseman Callaspo guarding against the bunt.
Well, anything but a bunt approach there.
And a base hit. First and second, nobody out.
How about Francisco Cervelli?
How about Francisco Cervelli? 2 for 2.
What a job he continues to do. Gets beat up every night. Got the wrist issue. Animated, and he just shows up every night.
Now, as we see the base hit by Cervelli move Gong to second. Chris Stewart, who started the game behind the dish. Happy for his teammate.
Yep.
The pitcher spot on deck, but Pedro Alvarez will be pinch hitting for Bastardo, so Sean Rodriguez now is likely to bunt.
Well, the Dodgers are convinced. They had their meeting, they're set up.
Of course, remember, they went into that wheel play, and Rodriguez kept showing bunt in the 8th inning. Eventually, he walked on 4 pitches. Would they try that again? No. Bunts it. And nobody there! Bases are loaded!
Here we go!
One way to score it. That's a bunt single for Serpico. They're loaded for Pedro Alvarez. This from the blimp.
Well, that time they didn't have the wheel play on. I don't know what's going on with Callaspo at third base. He's got to be charging that ball. At least get an out of it, but he just backed up. The ball falls dead on the infield.
They are going to go to J.P. Howell, the lefty, with Alvarez coming up.
the Brewers in Milwaukee. 3-0 lead, 2-on, 2-out. Randall Grichuk, the 3-run homer, his 14th. Caps a 6-run 5th inning for the Cards. They lead 6-0 in the 8th. They have won 7 consecutive series in Milwaukee. Guys.
So no help from the Brewers, Rob.
Uncle.
Yeah. Well, let's see if cannonballs might be coming. Just a hit of any kind. J.P. Howe, the lefty, facing Pedro Alvarez. We showed you this day in Pirates history. It was 5 years ago that Pedro Alvarez hit a walk-off home run, 3-run shot off Houston Street in the 10th inning with 2 outs. Well, here he's up with nobody out. The infield in all the way around and a 5-man infield. 5-man infield.
Yep. Howe has held lefties to a .210 average. How about 3 bases loaded, no out situations for the Pirates tonight? So far, they've managed 1 run out of it.
That's all they need now.
1 more. Yep.
Scott Van Slyke is playing shortstop, the left fielder. Gong, the only man that matters.
He has thrown 3 wild pitches. He has hit 2 batters.
One and one as Pedro Alvarez bats. Again, no right fielder.
They're kind of bunched up the best they can.
Puig is playing center. Peterson in left.
How about a lazy fly ball to right?
Alvarez, a .211 average against lefties on the year with 1 homer.
Light this crowd up like they got lit up in the bottom of the first.
2 and 1.
Good take. Force the count.
Alvarez 0 for 3 in the past against J.P. Howe. Everybody up. Two and 2.
Right on the outside corner. Heck of a pitch on a 2-1 count.